Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are going to talk about a movie that every dungeon master content. Every single dungeon master should see this movie. If you're between 12 and 18, you should wait to see this movie until you're 18. I think it's pretty sure it's rated. Actually, boy, is it rated R? There's virtually nothing in it. Yeah, I think it's not a kids movie, but it really doesn't have much adult content in it. Kind of interesting. But a movie that every dungeon master should see, which is Gone in the Night. You should see it for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it has a Dungeons and Dragons queen in it. Who is a Dungeons and Dragons queen? Winona Ryder. She is a massive ally and has done tremendous work to push forward and give momentum to strap a rocket on the butt of Dungeons and Dragons and surge it forward with Stranger Things. Winona Ryder, in my humble opinion, is actually the number one reason why Stranger Things succeeded. David Harbour has turned out to be a fantastic actor, but nobody knew him, right? So she is the only actor of note in season one, right? And I think she brought people in, and then everybody was like, oh my gosh, there's a ton of great, actors here, and this is a cool product. And Stranger Things has been massively successful for Dungeons and Dragons. So we should support Hollywood actors who have allied themselves to Dungeons and Dragons. And Winona Ryder has absolutely done that. She's worked hard to make sure that Dungeons and Dragons moves forward, right? The other reason you should watch Gone in the Night, and by the way, I'll tell you no spoilers until I give a spoiler warning. I may need to give a spoiler warning. But I will give you a warning. So it is a absolutely fantastic, amazing example of minimum viable product, MVP. So I learned about minimum viable product when I earned my MBA in technology management, and then basically it is a term used in tech, which means that when you bring a product to market, you bring the minimum viable product, right? You don't add anything more to it than is necessary to launch it, right? And we should be using minimum viable narrative, MVN, right? And so how do you do that? So basically, when you start a campaign, put the things in it that you need to be there, that you want to be able to tell an exciting story, but don't put a single thing more, right? Because one of the biggest things, you need to leave room for your players. They're going to bring great ideas, and so we want minimum viable narrative. So minimum viable narrative is very, very important. And we should work hard to have a minimum viable narrative. And Gone in the Night, which is I want to say thriller, but I don't want to oversell. This is a quiet, simple, scary is the right word, spooky, almost like spooky film, right? And it's just beautiful. It's extremely well crafted, and I really think you will very much enjoy it. I highly recommend Gone in the Night. It is, and actually I'm not going to spoil it for you. You should really check it out. I highly recommend it. There's virtually no action in the film. It's all like a giant thought piece, right? Which does not sound great, but it is great. So actually, I would really encourage you to check this film out. And when you watch this, I want you to pay very close attention to how minimal the narrative is, right? It doesn't put a single thing in that is not absolutely needed. It is brilliant, and I think you're really going to like it. And it will help you craft better narratives, and it will help you recognize what is essential and what is not essential. Highly recommend Winona Ryder's Gone in the Night. It's over on Hulu, but it's even worth a rent if you want, and it will really help you craft minimal viable narrative. Every single word of that is my opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your opinion. Have you seen this film? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Spoilers in the comments, but not in the video. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this film. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.